Muy buenos días, gracias por estar con nosotros en su programa Café con Leche, la voz de los latinos en América. Estamos transmitiendo desde Hermosa 1470 AM, 96.9 FM. Les habla Lilia Galindo, me acompaña Thomas Elias, él es un analista político y columnista de muchísimos periódicos aquí en el estado de California. Aquí en el Valle del Antílope, en el Antelope Valley Press, escribe 2 veces a la semana. Good morning, Tom. How are you?
Pretty good. How are you, Lilia?
I am doing fine. Thank you so much. I was wondering what is the topic for today?
Well, I think we should talk a little bit more about Donald Trump. Because you may remember last week we were talking about what lawyers call Plan B, which is what happens, what a lot of lawyers do when they don't have a case. If you can't defend yourself or you can't defend your client against a charge, because everybody knows your client performed the act they're charged with, the criminal act, then the tactic left here is to go after the prosecutor, is to attack the lawyers on the other side, in other words. And that's what Trump has been doing from the first day that he was charged with anything concerning the 2000 election. Now, it's gotten a lot worse in the last week than it was when we talked about it first last week. And that's partly because of the indictments handed down against him and 18 of his buddies in Georgia this week.
Mm-hmm.
Let's stop right there.
Okay. Bueno, dice los abogados del expresidente Trump, vamos a continuar con este tema en esta ocasión, pues ahora están adoptando lo que se llama el Plan B. Dice, porque cuando no tienes ningún argumento para defender a tu cliente porque todas las acusaciones son verdades, entonces el Plan B es atacar a los abogados del otro lugar. Y más ahora porque acaba de salir la semana pasada, apenas esta semana salió lo de la acusación ahora en Georgia, donde él y aproximadamente 18 de sus compañeros, de sus amigos, van a estar en un juicio en Georgia, con una acusación en Georgia.
Okay, so what's happened here now is that because the district attorney of Atlanta, who filed it, Fulton County, that is where Atlanta is, who filed these charges against Trump in Georgia. And we all know that Trump asked the Georgia Secretary of State to find him 11,800 new votes that didn't exist to change the outcome of the election in Georgia, and demanded this. And he sent Rudy Giuliani down there to make charges of fraud that were complete lies, and for which Giuliani now is going to be subject to libel penalties and slander penalties by the election workers that he claimed cheated. So what we have is that Trump is indicted in Georgia by Fani Willis, who is a black woman, and he's also indicted in New York by Letitia James, the Attorney General of New York, who is another black woman. And so he doesn't say that he's not guilty of the things these people are charging him with. No. He says that they're being racist by going after him. In other words, he's not defending himself. He's attacking the other people. He even uses the term, he says, we're not going after, but we're not just saying that these elections were rigged, is what Trump is saying. This is exactly what he said. We're now going after the riggers. And it happens that the riggers that he's talking about happen to be black. And if you notice, there's not much difference between the word rigger and the famous N-word that's often used to describe black people in a pejorative way.
Wow.
So, at the same time, you have...
Wait. Tom, wait there, because I was going
to... Stop there. Okay, we'll stop there.
Ok, mira, entonces dice, ahorita, entonces el próximo, la acusación es de ahora de Georgia, donde el abogado del distrito, que pasa que es de la raza negra, pues está dándole cargos y dice, ustedes oyeron incluso la grabación donde él está solicitando que encuentren 11.900 votos. Rudy Giuliani está en grandes problemas porque él es, no solamente está acusado en Georgia, pero también eh, por la que es la abogada de cita se llama Fannie Wills y es una mujer negra, pero él también está siendo acusado por la hija y la mamá que le metieron una demanda a contra de Giuliani por haber inventado que ellas eran las que estaban moviendo los votos. Y dice también tiene otra demanda también con otra abogada del distrito que es afroamericana, Leticia James, eso es en Nueva York, y él está así, diciendo ahora no que él es culpable, sino que estas personas son racistas en contra de él. Y dice, y así como habla del fraude de la elección, dice que está usando otra palabra que se asimila mucho a la palabra que se usa despectivamente para los afroamericanos y la está usando también en contra de las procuradoras. Okay, you can continue, please.
Okay, so, but they don't just go name calling. Trump does the name calling. But as usual, when Trump does name calling, his followers take other actions. Just like with the January 6th insurrection at the Capitol, Trump didn't say, go to the Capitol and break windows and beat up people and try and stop the vote that the Congress is about to take. No, that's not what Trump did. He said, we have to fight and fight hard. And so his people went down to the Capitol and did that. They took the implication of what Trump said and they acted on his implication rather than on his precise words. Well, it's the same thing here. Trump is saying that black people are going after him, and so his supporters have done things in the last week, and that's why we need to talk about this 2 weeks in a row. In the last week, his supporters have posted the names and addresses of the grand jurors in Atlanta who voted to indict Trump, and in addition, there have been racist death threats against both those grand jurors and the district attorney. The fringe website called Advanced Democracy has actually printed this statement. It said, these jurors have signed their own death warrant.
Wow.
So that's
this is
the deal here. And of course, Trump claims that because Fulton County voted by about a 70 to 30% margin for Biden over Trump, Trump now claims you can't get a fair jury in a local court in Georgia. He wants to change the trial there from a state court to a federal court because he thinks, well, the federal court definitely draws from a wider jury pool. But that won't work because what he did was actions in the state of Georgia. He claims that he did them when he was doing these things. He was acting as president of the United States. But the president doesn't have the authority to do illegal things, like pressuring a state official to come up with votes that don't exist. So it's very doubtful that he's going to succeed in getting this moved to a federal court. But that's what he's trying. And the whole thing is about race. Because we know from past campaigns that Trump is a racist. Mm-hmm. We know he said racist things about Mexican Americans. We know he said racist things about almost any minority group you can think of.
Yeah.
So we'll stop there.
Okay. Bueno, la estrategia del expresidente Trump es siempre decir, ¿no? Ponerles apodos a la gente, ¿no? Y dice, y aunque él no les dice a sus seguidores qué hay que hacer, dicen, los seguidores toman acción por su propia cuenta de lo que interpretan. Dice, porque por ejemplo, el 6 de enero no les dijo que fueran y rompieran todo, pero dijo, el mensaje fue, peleen y peleen muy duro, de otra manera no van a tener país. Y entonces dice, pues las implicaciones que la gente interprete y vieron todo lo que hicieron, e incluso querían colgar al vicepresidente. Y lo que está ahora haciendo es, dice que las personas afroamericanas están atrás de él. Y resulta que hubo un website que publicó incluso los nombres y las direcciones en el internet de las personas que estuvieron en el jurado para decidir si se hacía un juicio en contra de todas estas personas. Y bueno, pues han puesto en Atlanta, han puesto todos sus nombres para espantarlos, dice. Y ya que en este distrito donde se va a llevar este juicio, 70% de los que votaron son demócratas y solamente 30% son republicanos, él dice, no creo que pueda yo tener ahí un jurado justo. Y dice, y entonces lo que ellos están tratando de hacer es que esta demanda que es en el estado de Georgia la vuelvan federal para poder tener más control y para que, dice, porque a nivel federal seguramente vamos a tener un jurado donde hay personas más blancas. Y Tom nos está diciendo que Donald Trump ha sido muy racista, señalando siempre a grupos minoritarios. Así es que por eso no quiere tener su corte ahí. So what is going to happen? We have only 1 minute for you and 1 minute for me to translate.
What's going to happen is there's going to be one or two trials of Trump fairly early in the year next year. There may be a trial in Washington in December. There may be a trial in Atlanta in March. Certainly, at least one of those trials will occur. It may interfere with the campaign. And, of course, Trump's followers are saying that's the whole purpose of this. Laura Ingraham on Fox just yesterday said that the whole purpose of all this stuff is to prevent Trump from campaigning and to prevent him from opening his mouth and saying the things he wants to say. And they're interfering with Trump's free speech. Well, you and I know that's a lie and a bull. Trump didn't have to commit the crimes that he did, and now he's going to be punished for it. And he deserves to be punished for it. But that won't keep his supporters from supporting him. He can do no wrong as far as they're concerned.
Bueno, estamos hablando de que él va a tener el juicio, dice uno en Washington, posiblemente en diciembre, en Atlanta en marzo, dice, pero él está tratando de destruir y es obvio que hizo cosas que no son legales y va a tener que pagar por las consecuencias. Así es que vamos a estar viendo qué es lo que sucede. Well, Tom, thank you so much. I hope that we can talk a little bit longer next week to see what happened. And maybe we can see in TV the show, the trial in Georgia, no? That we can see.
Well, hopefully it'd be nice hopefully there will be a trial in Georgia, and if it's in a state court, it will probably be on television.
Perfecto. Si tenemos uno en Georgia, lo vamos a ver en la tele. Thank you so much.